Jonathan Cahn speaks about the election. And it's amazing.
Now, we have come to a crossroads, and one of two courses are going to be chosen for America. Never in modern times has the choice been so stark and so radical. And this is not about people, it's about issues. The Democratic presidential and vice presidential ticket is the most radical leftist ticket in history. The woman leading it, Kamala Harris, was ranked as among the most leftist of senators in the entire Senate. In the midst of the summer of rage, when a police precinct was set on fire, and which would result in deaths and massive destruction across the nation, she posted an appeal to bail out those who had taken part. And she said on television, it's happening, it's going to continue to happen, and it should continue to happen. More dangerous, this is the most anti-life, pro-death ticket in American history. Though they tried to avoid saying it outright, both the presidential and vice presidential candidate are for abortion with no restrictions, which means, in effect, abortion up to the moment of birth. You murder a baby up to the point of its being born. That's long after that baby has started to suck its thumb. And she has promised to make her priority to pass a federal law that will wipe away every restraint in place against the killing of unborn children. And it's even more than that. You see, Kamala Harris was faced with a bill dealing with babies born alive in a failed abortion attempt. And it basically said the baby that is born, you can't murder it. You can't starve it to death. You can't leave it to die. You can't kill it. It was the Born Alive bill. And you know what she did? She came against it. A bill that says not to kill a baby that is born. She was against it. She said it was extreme. That's infanticide. And it's even more than that. She didn't just advocate such extreme anti-life, anti-Bible, anti-God policies and acts, but she waged war against those who upheld the ways of God. She is so very radical and anti-life that she waged war against pro-life pregnancy centers that exist simply to help and support the mother in bearing her child, to give support to save the child's life. She waged war against them. She put into effect a law that mandated that pro-life pregnancy centers would be forced against their will to refer their people to abortion clinics. And if they didn't, they would be punished every time with financial punishments, hoping to drive them out of existence. Except the Supreme Court overruled her as violating the Constitution in her obsession against life. She also tried to force conservatives or Christian organizations to hand over their donors list for the government to see until the courts overruled her for that radical agenda. Then there was the case of David Daleiden. He's the one who performed a great service by exposing Planned Parenthood's agenda of selling baby parts for profit, trafficking in the parts of murdered babies in abortion. He exposed it. He should have been honored for what he did. But Kamala Harris instead had a meeting with the leaders of Planned Parenthood, and shortly after that, she began waging war through the legal system against David Daleiden for exposing Planned Parenthood. She actually brought charges against him using laws that had never been used in that way before. She brought him to trial, leveling 15 felony charges against him to send him into prison. She had his house raided, had his computer files and personal information confiscated, and recordings that were exposing Planned Parenthood taken away. This is how radically dangerous this is. And this is not even to mention her advocacy of gender mutilation for children against the rights of parents. How dangerous this would be if this one becomes president of the entire nation. This is gigantic because these are issues that are central in the Bible, the issues of life, of murder, of blood, of the innocent, of the defenseless, of children, of gender, of immorality, of oppression and persecution of God's people. These are crucial to God. On the other side is the Republican ticket. Now we know that the leader of the ticket isn't perfect, and one doesn't have to agree with everything. But again, it's not about people, it's about the issues and the purpose of God. On these most crucial, gigantic issues, the two parties, the two tickets, are still light years apart. On the Democratic side, it is now radically anti-life. On the Republican side, it is not perfect, but it is pro-life. On the Democratic side, it is radically for the merging of gender, male and female, the mutilation of children. On the Republican side, it is very much against the mutilation of children in sex transitioning. On the Democratic side, it's radically tending toward the suppression of Christians and religious freedom and even free speech. On the Republican side, it's very much for Christians and religious freedom. On the Democratic side, it is questionable now on Israel. It's divided. On the Republican side, it is strongly pro-Israel. If your house is on fire and you have a choice between two firefighters, one appears friendly, laughs a lot, tries to tell you what you want to hear, but is going to let your house burn down and is even in favor of your house burning down with babies perishing within your house. The other is rough around the edges. He brags and you don't really care for his style, but he's committed to fighting the fire that is burning down your house and saving the lives of the children inside. There's no choice. There's only one. You say yes to the ornery, rough around the edges one who is committed to saving your house and the people within it.